Friends, welcome to Enlightened World Network. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson. So happy to have you here, whether it's live or after the fact. We bring you a guided meditation every day of the year. Today, our guest meditator is Harold Becker, and Harold is the founder of the non-denominational Love Foundation. He'll share with us about that at the end. Harold wrote, "A courageous heart knows no bounds." And today, I think in this meditation, he's going to give us some insight into walking in love, and maybe we can learn a little bit more about that. Harold, thank you so much for being here.
Always a pleasure. I adore you, and I adore Enlightened World Network, and of course all the individuals that tune in and participate, and as you said, now or anytime in this multidimensional reality that we live in.
Okay, so you can start whenever you're ready.
Well, for me, it's all about the love. So I encourage and invite everyone to begin to bring themselves from the outer world to the inner world by beginning that relaxing breath, where we just simply release our focus from the outer activities of the day, or the weeks, of the years. We begin to draw our attention inside, and the best and easiest place to go is to begin to notice our breath, a beautiful breath of life that goes on and on and on throughout our lifetime, in and out, always there for us, always providing, always nourishing, always expanding, always enlivening, always there, always present. That's how we begin to tune into this moment where we go within, into our own beingness, where each breath simply is a process of relaxing any and all tensions in our physical body, any and all tensions or emotional body, and any and all tensions in our mental body. We begin to tap into that vastness that we really are, that creative, imaginative self that is always present, just like our breath is always present. As we continue to allow this breath to move in and out, oxygenating the body, while exhaling and releasing the tensions of our other bodies, we find ourselves gently and somewhat eagerly enjoying the building stillness that is also always within. The stillness is when we allow the mind to relax and the emotions to subside and the physical body to also relax. And it's through this ever-present breath, our awareness of our breath, that we find that conduit between our inner and outer. The breath that gives us life is also the rhythmic activity that feeds our imagination and allows us to thrive and expand and become so much more. So as the thoughts weave in and out, just gently let them go. As the stillness begins to build, allow the emotions to settle down. And as we notice our breath, we notice the physicalness of our body is finding a more comfortable space and place, an alignment for all of our bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, align in a perfect sphere, perfect wholeness, perfect oneness. And in this space, we begin to feel the gentleness of our true being. It's as if our own light is beginning to flicker in the center of our being, and we're beginning to notice it. Light that is always there, that spark that is always there, that which ignites the breath, spurns on the imagination, that light, the gentle, beautiful light at the center of our being. It's in the stillness and in the gentleness that we notice this light. We remember this light. And indeed, we come to celebrate this light in its permanent perfection, containing all that was, all that is, and all that can ever be, enveloped and infused completely and utterly and totally as love. This core essence in the center of our being, always with us, always as us. Our truer self connected to all that is. We tune into its presence and feel its radiance. As this radiance expands, as we acknowledge it, going out in all directions in a much more evolving, scintillating, multicolored radiance. All the various colors known to us and perceived by us are contained within this beautiful light. And as we allow it to expand in our acknowledgement, we feel its embrace as a celebration for our acknowledgement, for our recognition, for our true essence and our true being. As we realize we are part of all that is, simply by acknowledging the light and the love that is present within. And as we allow this beautiful radiance to expand farther and deeper, inward and outward, in all directions, without to engulf our own physicalness, touching every atom, every cell, every molecule, every aspect. We allow this brilliant radiance to ignite each atom that has its own spark, its own light, ignite it back into its pure form, casting off any and all shadows, doubts, worries, concerns. It's as if the trillions of atoms wake up and celebrate us as we acknowledge their presence, their radiance, their integral part in our human journey. And as these atoms expand and grow, we begin to notice how they make up each individual cell. Now the cells in our body begin to light up as a whole unit of many atoms. These trillions of atoms igniting trillions of cells. And our cells are beginning to acknowledge us, acknowledging them, and they're celebrating this reconnection. The love permeates in every aspect of our being. And as this love continues to grow throughout our physicalness, as it unites in all its many different ways, the functions of our physical body, Our body begins to celebrate our recognition of the light within, from the pure center of our being to the atoms, to the cells, all the functioning aspects of our physical body. Now our entire body unites as one glowing light, one glowing love, celebrating our recognition, our remembering who we truly are, brilliant beings of light. And as this continues to expand, it moves into our emotional body, that more etheric aspect of ourselves, accumulation and culmination of all the adventures, all the emotions, and all the potentials. And we begin to feel more deeply in this emotional realm, the very love that permeates all of existence. And our etheric body, our emotional body, begins to celebrate our recognition that it has always been love, that it has always been about love, and that it will always be love. And as this continues to radiate, and grow, and expand, we touch our mental body. Far beyond our brain comes our universal consciousness, that part of us that is all-knowing, connecting to all aspects. The physical aspect of our brain begins to expand to acknowledge the mental aspect of our beingness. And our mental aspect begins to celebrate our recognition that we are more than just our thoughts and feelings, that we're more than just our knowledge. We are, in fact, wisdom. Wisdom in motion, expansion in every direction. As it continues to expand, the celebration continues in the center of our being, through the atoms, through the cells, through the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and now out into the multidimensional realms, the grandness, the connection to our planet, connection to our galaxy, connection to all the galaxies, the connection to the cosmos, all built with the same underlying pure, positive, loving light. As the planet begins to celebrate our recognition, so does our galaxy recognize our recognition of it, and it begins to celebrate us, just as all the galaxies light up to recognize and celebrate that we noticed, we remembered. It's as if now the entire cosmos is alive in celebration, in joyful celebration of our connection to all that was, all that is, all that will ever be, our pure beingness in cosmic form. We feel the love of the cosmos, the love of all of the structures that have been birthed to make our reality what it is, and the continuation of that expansion on a cosmic level, just as it expanded from the center of our being, that multidimensional aspect, which goes even further beyond the cosmos into the comprehension of nothingness that is everything. And in this everything that is nothing, there's a celebration and the recognition of the pure love that unites all of it, the unconditional love, the unlimited love, and indeed the courageous love. This is who we truly are. This is who we've always been. This is who we will always be. So now we celebrate ourselves, our own awareness of ourselves. We acknowledge all that we've gone through, all that we are going through, and all that we may yet go through, as all part of the loving stream of expansion and potential. with our conscious awareness and our celebration of ourselves, the aspect of us that acknowledges the aspect of us, we realize we are part of a much grander, interconnected, cosmic, beyond cosmic connection to everything. Like a drop in the ocean, we are the ocean, we are the drop. We make up all that is with love from our heart. We add to it, we expand it, we imagine it, we become it, we go beyond it. In an endless cycle of perfect, beautiful, and continuous, boundless, pure potential. All that we were is what we've become. All that we've become now connected to this pure essence of our being, this celebration of who we are, this remembering of our grandness, our magnificence, our pure potential, now infuses everything we become with this light and love, consciously and directly. Now everything becomes infused, and all that we create becomes a celebration of life itself, of love itself, of light itself. And a simple recognition of the never-ending, pure fountain of love in the center of our being. We now infuse our potentials with love that expands interdimensionally and exponentially in all ways. In the light that we acknowledge in celebration, we begin to see in celebration of all others. We see that same spark in all others. The other drops in the ocean, the other oceans in the drops. Cosmic connection, the magnificence held in every chalice of every heart. And we celebrate life around us in all its various forms, all its various potentials. And we see past and into the very center of each being, each essence. As we see our spark, we see the other sparks. And now we are back into that scintillating, beautiful sphere of exponentially radiant colors of light in all directions, as all sparks of light light up in celebration of their own uniqueness and their own connection. This is who we are. This is who we've always been. We never need to seek it. We simply need to acknowledge it and remember it and become it once again. As we radiate our own love in all directions, we touch countless aspects of our own atoms, our own cells, our own physical body, our own emotional body, our own mental body. And we also touch all these same dimensions and all the other aspects of ourselves that walk upon this planet, that participate in this galaxy, that are part of this cosmos. Our love recognizes the love in all others and all aspects. And life becomes a celebration, as it is in fact all love. Well, in this feeling of love, acknowledge this radiance beaming from the very center of your being. Celebrate who you are, who you've become, who you will yet become. Celebrate every step, every breath, every emotion, every thought. Let the power of the imagination expand the resonance of love. So as we imagine, we become. And as we imagine with love, we become more love. We expand the love in the very center of our being as our gift and celebration to life itself. It's a simple journey, a simple recognition, and yet it's an exponential, profound understanding of our innate divinity, always present, forever present, always us, has us. Well, within this light and this love, allow it to permeate. Allow it to embrace, allow it to celebrate us as we celebrate the love we are. Each of us is a profound aspect of love incarnate on this planet right now. By our choice, we're here. By our choice, we remember. By our choice, we infuse the love. Broadcast it in all directions, in every voice, in every thought, in every feeling, in every embrace. We know who we are. We know why we're here. And we know that all other aspects will recognize the light that we shine. And in doing so, will remember for themselves the celebration of life that is there for them. A simple journey, and it's a grand adventure. It all begins with love. We begin to remember our breath, begin to breathe into our physical body, begin to notice the breath in the center of our being, begin to feel our own physical presence with this breath. We feel this light and this love permeating, exhilarating, expanding, tingling, the very physical essence that we are. We feel our emotional body resonating with celebration and joy. We feel our mental body delighted and excited with the pure conscious potential to become more. With each breath, we come back into a greater conscious awareness of our physical presence, our time, space, and place right here and right now. This time it's different. This time we know we are love. And with each breath, this knowingness of love makes everything feel lighter and brighter, easier, and more joyful. Bring this celebration now into your physical awareness, your consciousness, continuing to allow it to permeate as you gently bring yourself back into this simple dimensional reality where all the fun exists, and all the pure potential is here, waiting to manifest. With one great deep breath, we bring ourselves back into this reality with full conscious awareness of the love, the celebration, the joy that we are.
Thank you, Harold. Boy, I was really out there with that one, so thank you so much. Harold, you talked about perfect oneness and the bringing together of the different layers of ourselves, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, and the mental. And a thought flew through my mind of how much better we would be able to love someone and to feel and experience love if we were coming at it from that place of that perfect oneness of all of our aspects coming together. Can you talk about that perfect oneness for a minute?
In my experience in this particular journey of this lifetime, I think the awareness of unconditional love, especially the recognition of unconditional love for self, is that place where we touch upon that oneness, that perfect oneness. Because love in the grandest sense is unconditional. It acknowledges every pathway is valid. And yet we are so conditioned, and by necessity in this 3D world, we're going to be conditioned. There's always going to be some condition lingering there. The more we can acknowledge the unconditional love for ourselves, the more we will recognize and actually interact with the world from that unconditional standpoint. And what it does is it brings more of that natural, perfect wholeness into the experience. So we begin to, for example, look at traumas, dramas, events that would normally conditionally been passed down perhaps by generations, if not culturally and socially. We can be the ones that step out of that paradigm, and we begin to look at things, and you begin to see bigger patterns going on, and you start to realize that some of these proverbs, some of these cliches, what seems to be bad in the moment, as we account it as an emotional reaction as being bad, something negative or something that is, we resist experiencing, so often becomes the very catalyst of greater wisdom and greater awareness. And it's that ongoing expansion of allowing the conditions to become more unconditional, that we begin to flow in greater harmony with ourselves. Because, as we've said in various conversations, it is really all about ourselves. Even though we're connected to everything, our thoughts and our feelings are us, our reactions are us. So many of the things that we project out to the world or we react to from the world, the only reason that reaction is there is because we have a condition. And the more we relax those conditions and become more unconditional, the more we reach that wholeness and perfection. So shall we just say, on a very grand scale, cosmically speaking, if there was a grand expansion, whatever we would want to call that, and there are ongoing expansions where, say, just, from a sheer galactic standpoint, suns ignite and become and give life, and then they explode and they become something else. Well, we have a tendency to filter that, and we tend to see what is a birth of a star is something great, but the destruction of a star is something not so great, because we filter it with our conditions. Where in fact, when a star explodes after it's reached its full potential, that explosion shoots out the atomic building blocks that allows our planet to exist, that allows us to exist, allows life to come onto our planet. So on a very, very grand scale, we can say that we are made up of stardust. We are made up of those atomic aspects, and they were present and they continue to expand. Well, in the same way, we are doing that here in each earthly journey, as we find ourselves becoming more aligned with love. Our response to experiences become more compassionate and kind, and the more compassion and kindness we share, beginning again with ourselves, because if we don't have compassion and kindness, we cannot give it out. So we have to start being compassionate and kind to ourselves, understanding that by doing so, we automatically expand the potentials around us, because each time we let go of a condition, we allow unconditional aspects to grow, and then other individuals or other activities can actually expand with us by them finding their own wholeness and their own perfection. So another way to kind of say that wholeness of perfection is it's perfection perfecting itself. It's perfection the innate love is perfection in its own right. And as we expand in our own journeys by the billions on this planet alone, we are actually perfecting ourselves with our experiences by becoming less conditional and more open to the natural flows and harmonies and the inspirations and the imaginations. We are living more in our expansion of pure potential than we are living in our past. And perhaps that would be the underlying aspect to all of this, is that the brain is designed to live in the past. It's designed to recall everything that has been. The emotional body does the same thing with our feelings. It's a very different way to approach life when you see the wholeness and that perfection that's innately existing, shall we say, as a cosmic blueprint. And you begin to tie into that cosmic blueprint as whole perfection, you begin to create something very differently. And I can only speak for my own life, that what I have experienced with this understanding grows moment by moment, day by day, year by year. And the way I see life today is very different than I did 30 years ago. And I say it's very different because it's far vaster than I could have ever imagined. And I see potentials of what we can become as the most interesting aspects. I don't find much interest anymore in who we've been and the stories we've told. I'm looking more for who we are and who we wish to become. And that's the power of our pure essence wanting to come forth and actually infuse this innate love out into the world.
Excellent.
Long answer to a short question.
Yep. No, that was great. Thank you so much. Harold, if folks want to know more about you and about the Love Foundation, how do they find you and how do they look up the foundation?
Well, the Love Foundation is our nonprofit. We've had now for, well, this coming March, it'll be 23 years. We started it in 2000. And we're available on all the various social medias, but our main website is thelovefoundation.com. And I said we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we have a lovely global reach. It's been a real joy to share love in an unconditional way, and as you mentioned, like a non-denominational way, non-political way. We simply broadcast this universal message, and it's been a joy to see and experience people finding us, living in every corner of the world where they live in different cultures and different social structures, and yet they find us and they feel like we're voicing something that makes sense to them, unlike anything else, because I think it's that universal, unconditional nature. It's very inclusive. It is inclusive. And it's really fascinating to be able to connect with people around the world that have and are awakening to their own personal potential and recognizing that love is the uniting factor of everything. The Love Foundation is the portal. We're, of course, on YouTube and Facebook and various other social media, and all that can be found directly from our website.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Harold. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And
It's a pleasure.
Yes, so friends here at Enlightened World Network, thank you for being with us as you're exploring your own spiritual journey and your own greater understanding of love. We're all just on the same path together. So thank you. So friends, take good care. God bless, and we'll see you soon.